I thought Charley read my speech. He used a whole lot of my material. I'm running because when I first started in politics, a lady walked out of her house and walked down to where I was digging a hole and said, "Well, Mr. Galligan, I see what you do. You just fix it good enough to last a year and you come back and fix it again." And I said, "I don't do that. They won't let me fix the whole pipe. I tell them it's all bad and they tell me they don't have enough money." And she said, "Oh, really? Well, you ought to tell them a little stronger." And I said, "I'm going to. I'm tired of listening to this, and I'm going to try to do something different." And I walked out of there, and I thought, I'll go talk to the mayor. So I went and talked to him, and he goes, "Oh, you just don't understand. We don't have enough money, and we don't have this, and we don't have that." And I looked at him, I said, "You got enough to do it wrong 3 times, but you don't have enough to do it right once?" And he goes, "Well, you just don't understand." Well, I got beat the first time, but the second time I won. And I thought I might have been in over my head a little bit after I went to a couple meetings, so I asked a friend of mine to go with me to a meeting, and he tells me, "You don't need me, I can't help you, you'll do fine." So I talked to him for a little bit, and I said, "Make a deal with you. You go to the meeting with me, if I don't need help, you think I can handle it, you don't have to come to work for me. If you think I need help, you got to come to work for me." Deal. Phil McCauley went to the meeting. We walked out of the building, and he looked at me and said, "Oh my God, we're going to have to stand back to back to keep them from stabbing us in the back." And I go, that's kind of what I was trying to tell you. That relationship has been a tremendous asset for the city of Jeffersonville. Phil helped me do things I couldn't do. But the one thing he wanted to understand was we were going to reinvest back into Jeffersonville. Everything we did, we were going to make it better. And the next day it would be better from the investment we made. And I learned from him. And I learned also that if you hire smarter people than you, you'll be successful. And I have done that. Okay? All my staff are excellent people. I get compliments all the time. "Where did you get these people?" I said, "Well, you know, this one came along, that one came along." "Well, how do you get them to work like this? And how do you get them to be so cooperative?" I said, "That's the kind of people they are." That's what this community deserves, and that's what they're getting. Now, my slogan is 24/7, and the reason for that is I might find a sewer problem at 8 o'clock at night or 1 o'clock in the morning. If there's a fire, I'm probably there because somebody called me. Being mayor is a job where you have to be available 24/7. And anybody that thinks that you don't doesn't need to have the job. Now, I'm dressed like this because today we're having a lot of snow. And David Hosey does a great job with his whole team. But the problem is they'll wear out. And somebody needs to help. And I'm available to help. Because I can run whatever they got, whether it be a grader, backhoe, dump truck with a blade. I've done all that. I enjoy doing that. But what I really enjoy doing is making this community better every day. And I have tried to do that with staff, and I've tried to do that with working with the council, and I've tried to do it with the redevelopment commission and all the other commissions we work with. Because this is our community, and these 2 young men down here are my grandsons. And I want them to be able to earn a living in Jeffersonville, live in Jeffersonville, and have a quality of life that is second to none. But to do that, we all have to chip in, and we all have to work. Now, every time I make a decision, somebody likes it and somebody doesn't like it. I'm sorry, but I try to do the best I can for the whole community. Not special interest groups, but for everybody. This canal is a solution to a problem. There's a chart that shows in a 100-year reign, which is, we have pretty regular, there is 1,000 units at a 1,000,000 gallon a unit trying to go out a 96-inch pipe that takes 110 million gallon a day. So to counteract that, we either have to put in 9 more pipes or 8 more pipes at 96 inches and take them to the river, or take them through Clarksville, under 65, under a railroad bridge, beside the Holiday Inn and everything else that's over there, and take it down into Clarksville. That's not cheap. That's going to come out of your sewer bill. That's going to come out of your drainage bill. But if we put a canal in, and we are be able to cut the investment down drastically, and be able to get economic development and economic revenue and jobs out of this, and help the environment, we have a win. And if we can do it cheaper, why can't we? The reason nobody wants to do this is because they don't think like that. When Phil said, we're going to put restaurants down on the river, and I got a guy that I'm going to work with, and then I got another guy to work with, everybody told me that couldn't happen. Well, can't isn't in our vocabulary. We don't have problems, we have challenges. And we want to continue doing the good things we've done by solving problems. When I took office this time, the EPA was knocking at our door and having meetings with us. They had been having meetings for 2.5 years, 3 years. Everybody that's running against me is going to reopen the EPA thing. Trust me. I want to be there if they try that. Because I went out and hired Lynn Ashak, who is the most qualified person I know of to deal with the EPA. And we tried and we got the best deal we could get. They now look upon us as a place where they want to use as a demonstration area. They want to use our ideas and do this. That's because we're trying to solve the problem and we're not trying to run away from it. This is a 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week job. Some days I love it, and some days I look at myself and say, what have you done to yourself? But when you see Spring Street come back, you see Market Street redone and people love it, and they throw a party for the people that worked on it because they're so happy with it. Those are the rewards that you can't put a price on. And I have met a lot of people here through the years that I really appreciate being a friend of, and them being a friend of mine. And I think with the team we got, the future we got is very, very bright. You can look at our future and say, oh, what a problem we got, the EPA. Those are challenges. And if we arise to the occasion on challenges, we will be successful. We will reinvest in our community, and we will make it the best place in this part of southern Indiana. And the last thing I'll tell you is one of my opponents, many years ago when we were trying to do the aquatic center in the Little League Park, came to a council meeting and said, I don't want you to build them. I don't want my taxes raised. My reply was, well, don't you think kids in Jefferson need a place to swim and learn how to take swimming lessons and things? No. I said, well, where do your kids swim? In the backyard. The difference between me and the other opponents are, I care about Jeffersonville. I'm willing to work 24/7 to make this a better place. And I'm willing to make the decisions that might not be good decisions for some people, but they're excellent decisions for the whole community. And I'll take whatever grief I have to take, because from day one to the day, Jeffersonville is a better place because of the people that came in my administrations and did their job. And I'm proud of that. And I think it's very important that we continue that positive attitude, build the canal, because we have to deal with 6 inches of water in 1 hour. We will have every store in downtown Jeff flooded again unless we deal with it. And that's what the canal will do. It will be a positive effect. It'll be an attraction. And it'll be a way that you can set yourself apart from any other community. And the last thing I'll tell you is the guy, the mayor of Louisville, thinks this canal is a great idea. He wishes he could put one someplace. That is a compliment. And I'm very proud of that. Thank you all for coming. I know it's a bad night, but I appreciate you coming out and showing your support, because it means a lot to me. And the last thing I'll tell you is, talk to your neighbors, your friends, if you have to, your enemies, and some of my enemies, and try to get them to vote for me, okay? I think Greg Isgrigg wants to say something.
I'm not here to announce my candidacy yet. I felt compelled to come. Tommy and I have become really close with Doug England. We've been working as 3 communities. Can't tell you yet, but there's a lot of excitement that's going to come to the River Cities. It's coming, and all I can say for Jeffersonville, if you don't put Tommy Galligan back in, Jeffersonville will stop. This guy will get out there, he'll make it happen. He inspires me, he gives my case, but if you want somebody every day, it's 24/7, when that guy hits the ground, what can I do for Jeffersonville today? And I'm from Clarksville. Today we had some good news. Colgate is finally sold. We're going to see some jobs come out. Tommy and I talked about that. This is going to help Jeffersonville, it's going to help Clarksville. And we want things to happen both ways because we are so closely tied as a community. But folks, get out there, absentee ballots, whatever it takes. You got to put this guy back in, because Jeffersonville will keep moving, and he's the guy to do it. And if he was driving my bus, other than Beanie, you'd be the guy I'd have. Thank you.